Are you ready to take your investment game to the next level? Introducing Digital Investor, your ultimate guide to mastering the digital marketplace. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, Digital Investor brings you cutting-edge game theoretical strategies, expert insights, and real-time tips and tactics to analyze, evaluate, invest, and grow your wealth. Don't miss out on the digital revolution. Visit www.nickblacknex.com and start your journey with Digital Investor today.
Brandon!
Yeah, what a day. What a day. I have some concerns about today, but we'll go through these on the show. I think it's going to be a lot of stuff to talk about. Concerns, optimisms. What are we talking?
Concerned?
How
many people got wrecked between yesterday and today, the last 24 hours?
Let me see.
I bet it's a lot. I bet it's over $500 million of money that's just been lit on fire. Just lit on fire. Leverage, Uber and Lyft drivers lit on fire.
Oh my gosh. Let's see. Let's go to coin. I bet. Yeah, I liquidation data. Okay, so let's see. 24 hours. 200 million between friends. Dude, that's what I think.
Because it was 120. Oh, well, maybe we're counting the few hours before. Can you do it?
Yeah. It only has 24-hour on this thing. There's got to be a place where I just go here and look at the 24-hour liquidations. It's about 180. And it's pretty split between long and short. So it's wrecking everybody, which is
because everybody's trying to call the top or the bottom. Oh, here, go along. Oh, go short. Wreck.
Yeah, it's wrecking a lot of people.
Go back to your third job. Go back to your bar job. Go back to your fucking Uber. Stupid. We talked about Uber yesterday quite a bit.
Oh. Did you see they're scared a little bit? I think that Tesla thing scared them. They want to partner with Tesla now all of a sudden. They don't want to compete.
They're done. I think Tesla has always had it in for Uber. Uber was always a sketchy business that doesn't make money. That's a business that's been subsidized.
Yeah, did you watch that Uber documentary on Netflix? It's not a documentary, it's like a real life enactment of the start of Uber and stuff. It's like 8 episodes on Netflix or something. It's pretty cool.
I didn't watch that one. That's not the smartest guys in the room one, is it?
No,
that's different. See. But the problem with Uber is it was not to go into all the gory detail, but essentially the idea was Uber would, by cutting rates and subsidizing both the cost for the driver and the cost for the rider, meaning the investors would cover that, meaning and this was, I'm trying to think when they lost the most money, but the long story of it is the idea was to subsidize it long enough that everyone else would go bankrupt. And then all that would be left is Uber. Basically, Uber went out to FU all the taxis, all the taxi companies, and any ride share that might try to compete.
Yeah.
And in doing that, they've built a business model that's still not sustainable. And so we'll see. I mean, I wonder how any of those things. Do you remember the story? You know those little electric scooters that you can get, like you put your credit card and you can go drive them around town and stuff, and then when the battery's dead, you just leave it and they'll come get it. You know that there's like giant mountains of these scooters.
Oh, I believe it.
Of dead scooters. That also was a subsidized business that was not sustainable. No, not Segway, not Segway. Segway are the balancing ones that those mall cops use. Not those.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the little two-wheeled scooters. It looks like a skateboard scooter, and it's electric, and they're actually pretty fun. You can have a lot of fun on them. You will die, but you can have a lot of fun.
I love them. We rode them all over Rome. When we went to Rome, that was the way to get around. It was fantastic.
Yeah, one of them is called Bird. One of them is called.
They got a Bird one, Lyft. They have what was the one that I have the apps on my phone because I used them all. In Italy, that was the literal best way to get around.
Lime.
That's what it is.
I always remember that the Lime ones were faster.
And it depends. So we learned on the cobblestones in Rome, they have two size of tires. Get the bigger tires.
You want big tires.
Yeah, you want the big tires. Smoother
little
ride.
Tires, you will eat shit.
Yeah, it's so true. So true. It's fantastic.
Okay. Why do I have to bounce between Digital Investor and YouTube to see my chat room? I don't know.
Most people don't. You'll figure it out one day, Pat. I believe in you.
You're gonna get this, Pat.
I believe in you.
And Kevin.
Oh, they're gonna figure it out one day.
Okay, so Bitcoin was erratic and all over the place. We had kind of an up Friday, a quiet up Saturday, Sunday, a good-ish up Monday, a pretty goodish up Tuesday. This morning, things were looking pretty good. They might start to kind of eclipse a little bit because I think anytime you have 5-6 straight days of Bitcoin going up, something's got to give. It's got to give a little bit back. People take profit. I don't know. I'm not looking at markets right now. I've got some other things I'm considering, which we'll talk about behind the wall as far as moves in the portfolio, but we shan't discuss those in the public sector. Do we have any pressing things you wanted to discuss for the public?
I wish. I was hoping for a hypercycle update. I still have not been able to connect with their team. And for some reason, even though like when I'm in Europe, sometimes I'm able to talk with people and I can communicate. But when some other people are in Europe, it's impossible to meet with them. So
they can't.
I don't know. But that's just the nature of the beast. So I think they're just really busy coding and stuff. So I think I got to get with them somehow.
So what is the issue? Because apparently many people are having this issue where they're having trouble watching it, or what? So what's the deal?
Let's see. So I'll go here. Let me share my screen. How do I share my screen?
How do you
present? I'm going to go share my screen. The issue is technology is super hard for some people. So when I'm on my screen watching the show here, I shared the wrong screen. See? Because I was trying to share the audio because I have a good clip that I'm going to share. I got a good clip I'm going to share today. So when I share my screen, if I log into the investor dashboard, it has us right here. I can push play and it's playing us right here. I share my screen. If I log into okay, so that's live. And then the chat's right next to it. I literally have no clue why anybody can't figure this out. That's all there is to that. That's it. Like I logged into the dashboard and that's it. That's what I see. I don't know. I've logged into it on Chrome, on Edge, on Firefox, on Brave. I've logged onto it on my iPad or not iPad. I don't use Apple products, so maybe that's the issue. If you guys are on Apple products, let me know. So
okay, here's my thought.
I don't know. I got to figure this out. I got to log in on more devices, maybe.
Here's my thoughts on this tariff question, Chris. It's tariffs. If you've listened to Economics in One Lesson by Henry Hazlitt. He goes into trade tariffs quite at length. The way I look at it is, you can go too far or do too little with any of these things, and most of the time, it's governments having dick measuring contests rather than what's best for the consumer. What's best, and then there's what's best for the consumer versus what's best for the U.S. companies that are trying to compete. So you have to decide, like, who are you throwing in with, Chris? Are you throwing in with businesses? If you're throwing in with American businesses, then you say, yeah, let's tariff the shit out of these, Chinese and foreign goods. On the other side of it, like, how do you help the most people? Well, if inflation is kicking you in the nuts, then to do the greater good, you allow the products to come in cheap and you allow the American people to benefit. And then you could say, well, so it's like, there's a lot of ways to kind of answer that tariff question. So I think it depends on which group. Are you pro GDP? Are you pro company? Or are you pro actual people? I tend to fall on the people side.
Okay.
If you're pro people, you're not a big fan of these import tariffs and things like this, because you want the cheapest quality products to get in here and let us get those. It shouldn't cost us more to live because a bunch of jerks can't agree on stuff that we have no control over and no say in. That's kind of where I fall on that. But there's an argument to be made for all of them. This is there's a lot to that, Chris. I don't know. You just got to figure out where you fall. Denny asked, can you tell us what you'll be doing with Twin Token before next week's TGE? Well, myself and everyone else on the planet will be doing nothing, Denny. You know how I know this? Because there is no Twin Token until the TGE. Hashtag token generation event. Ain't no token before there's a token. Now, what will we be doing with the N Twin Token? Perhaps that is your quandary. I think what people are doing right there in the marketplace. What are people doing let's see, what's going on with N Twin? Should we take a look? Take a little look-see, go to the exchange right there. Take a little old look-see at N Twin. What's going down? Well, everybody's waiting to sell. So everybody's thinking, so here's what my guess is. The TGE is going to happen, and everybody thinks they're going to get a super low price. And for the people that go through these launch pads, but they're going to get a tiny little portion. And they're going to flip it, because that's what these guys do, because they do not give a shit about anything after the flip. The launch pads don't, and most of the launch pads participants don't. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Everybody's got to make their money, and I'm okay with that. But just understand that mindset. So once their little 10%, 20% portion is gone, and also, by the way, what's going to happen in the first 10 seconds when the TGE occurs, Brandon? Is the price going to be at 7 cents?
I would assume not. Bots will pick it up theoretically. It should jump pretty high and be hard to buy, is my guess.
People will fight for it. They'll miss. They'll keep fighting. They'll miss. And the price could be anywhere from 20 to 50 cents.
You remember when Hypercycle launched? A lot of people did the same thing. It went like through the roof. And I think some people paid quite high prices sometimes.
Didn't you got a good early exit? Didn't you, like a quick exit?
Yeah, I bought and sold within like 2 minutes or something. Anyway, not a ton, but just a little bit.
But you did pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think people thinking that you're going to buy it at the listing price, that's pretty thick of you to think that. You will not. You won't. And I think
it won't be 7 cents almost at all. Depending on their marketing, I don't know where their marketing's been, but it should be a pretty good launch. Hopefully.
Yeah. So I think the range is say 20 cents to 50 cents. And I don't know where that would fall. I have no clue. Now, as they continue to pelt the market with more marketing and more things you can do with a token, like locking these tokens up. We're working on some things right now at Hypercycle hopefully with their team, where we could build some cool pools and things like that, so that people don't have to be reliant on SFail, or what is the new name of it? It's a new company now. They merged with they're merging with Crapgito. Can you believe it? Brandon, is this not, you couldn't, if I had made this up a year ago, people would have laughed at me. They would have said, you're a damn fool. So they're merging with Cogito, merging with a company that's not even a company, and SafeKey.
Yay.
You know, they're going to get into RWA.
Yeah, definitely.
That's Republicans with Attitudes. It's a new rap group.
Dope.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I guess what I would say is, if you have N-Twin, try to imagine what you think might happen on day one. And if there are opportunities to arbitrage, I can tell you this, that all the digital private client twin tokens are locked up for 24 months. We locked all of our tokens for 24 months. We will be getting interest payments. Those don't start until 30 days later. So we are basically on the sidelines for 30 days. We ain't doing nothing. Nothing. We're just going to watch, see what happens. But I know that people that own N-Twin get first in line for claiming their twin ID. So think of it as like your domain name for your twin. And that's before anyone else, launch pads or anything else. Node market N-Twin token holders. Now, 30 days later, so November 21st, because the twin launch is October 22nd. So November 21st, we will have the opportunity to swap through a bridge scenario that Brandon's going to create, where you'll be able to go from the N-Twin token to the twin token. Now, there'll be some kind of way of doing that. We don't know the final form factor of that, but there'll be some way to do that. Is that fair to say, Brandon? I can't hear you, brother.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a simple claim contract. It's going to be super simple. You just go on to Node Market. You'll connect your wallet. Well, it's already connected. You'll put in how much of the N-Twin you want to swap, probably all of it. And then you'll hit swap, and it'll turn the N-Twin into twin. That's it.
Holy smokes.
Easy. It's a claim. We've built a claim contract. So we're going to take, as soon as we get that N-Twin, we're going to load it all into the contract, and you guys will essentially go claim it out. And your claim tokens are your N-Twin tokens. It's not even a bridge. Like, we've built it so it's like super simple. It'll cost like $1 to do or something.
Yeah. This is going to be super sweet. It won't be any of that weird bridgey bullshit where half your stuff gets locked up at some weird spinning pinwheel for, 3 days or whatever. It's
you won't have to go. I can tell you this: you won't have to go to Etherscan and use the write function in the contract and figure out how many decimal places you have in a given token address to do it.
Let's see. Do you recommend the Hyper? I don't recommend anything because I haven't used it. I got no clue, man. I got no clue. I haven't played with it or used it. I haven't seen it. If you don't have a device to run compute on, that's an option. I still think it'd be fun to build a device of some kind, like figure out what we need and build like a badass rig or get a cool server spun up. I don't know. I think that would be cool, but we're not there yet. All right. Let's see. If you watch on CryptoFit on YouTube, it stays there after going behind the wall. Maybe it does. Maybe
that's true.
That's true. Some true stuff.
That's why we switch channels every few months.
Okay, Brandon, you said you had there was something you were talking about on Monday, but we ran out of time. What was that?
Oh, the FTX stuff. Oh, I gotta pull that up. I'll pull it up.
Pull it up. Good call, Lisa. Good call.
We'll talk about that behind the wall. That's good. So nice. There we go. I'll get that ready. Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll be good to go as soon as. Oh no! Oh crap! I gotta turn my VPN off. I can't read this language. Hold on.
Okay, let me make sure we don't have any.
I don't have a VPN.
if we don't have any other kind of obvious questions, then we're going to go behind the wall. Let's see. This is all. I think I don't think there's too many coherent questions in here that have anything to do with it. Let me see. Okay. Will you have on the exchange vested twin tokens we can buy, sell, separate from in twin? What do you mean? Well, I mean, we're going to list the twin token. The twin token.
It'll be live. We got to get
on day one will be live. We'll have the twin token listed. So there'll be twin and in twin. You could even just kind of compare the two. But will you have on the exchange vested twin tokens that we can sell, buy, separate? Well, no. Also, keep in mind, we don't have anything on the exchange. The exchange doesn't have wallets. There's no custody. When you see buy and sell orders on the exchange, that's other people and entities. If other people want to come and sell or buy, they can. Everybody can. That's the whole point. There's no one here to steal your shit because no one here custodies your shit. It's your shit, bro. So that's kind of the whole thing that people should like about an OTC is there's no one to steal your stuff. So we don't have custody. So we won't be sitting on a pile of tokens because there's no exchange wallet. There's no exchange hot wallets that would hold un pile day tokens.
Well, also too vested. So the ones that are vested, I think those aren't even available because they're vested, right? Or are they talking about unvested?
Well, it would be maybe not yet vested.
Not yet vested tokens. So the only thing that Nick and I have talked about is potentially letting the DPCs trade those amongst themselves type of thing. And so those people that did do the accreditation NFT, they would be able to buy those and potentially at a discount. Because remember, future value of something is going to be less than present value. So some of those DPC members may be able to sacrifice some of the premium that they're going to get in the future for a current payout or current equity thing right now. And so that's just the way the mindset of the human emotion works. So that's the way economy and macroeconomics works. So we may be able to tokenize some of those not yet vested tokens potentially in the future for all those people that have a lot of twin locked up for a year and be able to trade those. But it's kind of complicated because then there's an interest that's being paid on all those tokens and stuff. So we have to work through all that. But
yeah, you can't, Ardlin, why would you wait? How would you have unvested tokens?
You don't have them, right? So it would take a proxy token, which we would have to create, which we're not going to do that.
Yeah, don't have. The only people that would have unvested twin tokens are the digital private clients that entered the original early sale. So there's no other scenario where you would have unvested twin tokens. Now on the TGE day, there is going to be a class of people that also have unvested twin tokens, and that is people that go through launch pads. They buy twin, and they would have unvested tokens waiting to release based on that release schedule, which I believe is some amount on day one, 3-month cliff, and then 12 months of distributions, something like that. Whatever the launch pad says is what goes. So there, with them, you have some unvested tokens. So in that scenario, but we don't have access to that, and we can't create an unvested token market with other people's assets because we would have to control the underlying asset to be able to issue the proxy asset on top of it. Otherwise, it's just a spam. We would just have a spam token, which wouldn't make any sense. You could buy a bunch of the proxy token, and if it's not redeemable for the original token, you don't have anything. So we don't want that. So there you go. All right. Neil said it. Hey,
let's do it.
Do we want to do one quick? I was going to ask your overall thoughts on how the bridge launch went down. I think that they did not get fully funded, right?
Oh my gosh. Do you know how these work? So let me just see if I have this pulled up. Yeah, I'll share my screen. So this is funny.
I think we called that right, did we not? We called that right.
Yeah, so we didn't end up putting in because it was a little bit worrisome. We looked at, so there was 3 other companies that have done this. I think Cloud, Sanctum, they oversubscribed within a little bit. There was another company that did this on the Jupiter platform that didn't have a cap per wallet, and they oversubscribed substantially. This one matched the third project that was being done. I think it was called Atlas or something like that. But they didn't reach their subscription amount of $5 million, and neither has The Bridge. Now, The Bridge, this is a screenshot that I took because I turned my VPN. Anyway, this is a screenshot that I took this morning. So what they did is they extended it by another 24 hours.
They just extended it.
Which I don't love when they do stuff like that. And so all that means is they didn't stick to their guns.
It's thirsty. It's thirsty.
Yeah, it is thirsty. It's so thirsty. They realized that they weren't going to get the full amount. They're like, oh, well, you know what? Maybe people just aren't around. Maybe they didn't see our announcements for the last month. Let's extend it for another 24 hours. It's kind of like World Financial Token saying, hey, you know what? Let's just keep these coffers open.
This isn't, and just so you guys know, this isn't me and Brandon saying I told you so. This is the game theory of the scenario. We kind of looked at the landscape, and as cool as the bridge is, no one knows about it. And so, you have most of these Jupiter transactions occur at Jupiter, not through the bridge. Now, if they were shoving transactions in this direction, like if the bridge was the only way to do transactions through Jupiter, maybe there's something there, but it is not the only way.
And that brings up something else. I don't know how to say this. So I had to help somebody who I love. I had to help somebody yesterday. They we just helped them a little bit. They transferred some money over to do this, and they're like, "Well, we used a bridge. Wait, or do we use anyway?" Then they kept synonymously using the term Jupiter with the bridge. Those are two different things, remember? Yeah. And so, in order to find their funds, we had to clarify what dApp they actually used. And then some bridges, and I don't know if you guys know this, but this is the way that it'll work if you ever bridge anything back from Optimism or Blast or some of those other layer 2s. You have to actually, even I think it's not Wormhole, but I think it's the other SUI bridge. You have to go back to the bridge where you did the initial thing, and you have to wait an hour or 5 minutes or 30 minutes, and then you have to claim your funds. So that's what we had to get him to do. He had to go, or her, and we had to go back and claim their funds off of that platform that they used. But remember, and sorry, I'm not throwing anybody under the bus here. Remember that you have to, all these dApps are very separate. The bridge is completely separate from Jupiter. So if you use Jupe's bridge that's built in, it's actually a separate bridge than the bridge. So remember what you use. You got to remember all this stuff and keep it separate. So
words mean things. And real quick, Arlen, I thought maybe I was not clear enough. Yes, if you have twin tokens, because if you participate on a launch pad on day one, you're going to get some tokens, whatever that percentage is. I've seen 6, 9, whatever you agreed upon with the launch pad. That's their prerogative. But whatever you get, those are twin tokens. At that moment, the twin token does exist. That's the TGE, the token generation event. And if you have those tokens, yes, they will be tradable at Node Market. There will be, you can buy, sell, trade, swap, whatever. So yes, and yes. But remember that vested tokens means you don't yet have them. There's not going to be a proxy market for tokens you don't have on a launch pad we don't deal with. They could do that because they're the ones in control of that pile of tokens. Well, actually, technically, they're not supposed to be. Technically, it's supposed to be a smart contract managing all that. But you never know these days, like with IGN and with what, what's actually in a smart contract. It's very, it's opaque. We'll just say it's opaque.
We should talk about coding language and how not opaque it actually is. We should talk about
right at it. You can look right at it. It's like it's like the guy at the reunion where you're like, wait a minute, wasn't that a girl when we went to school, but wearing a cellophane dress? You're like, oh, well, obviously, right? So like the code, you can look at code. Like that was the whole controversy you saw. I don't know if you saw this morning. Like there was a lot of controversy in the Cosmos ecosystem because what their their LSM or whatever their may have been, mostly written by Korean developers, like potentially hackers.
Word.
Which, that's a kick in the newts. So anyway, Yeah, a lot going on there. So just to reduce this, yes, on day one, the twin token, as well as in twin that currently trades on Node Market, they'll both be tradable. But when you're talking about vested and not and unvested is like saying not yet vested. Vested is saying I have them. Vested means you met a time requirement for a certain amount of tokens and you got them. Not unvested means you will get them, you don't currently have them. So unvested is not yet vested. And we can't create proxy markets for not yet vested tokens unless we know that those tokens for sure are going to deliver. And with these launch pads, I'm not sure I'm not sure about how they structure those smart contracts that feed those not yet vested tokens. So I can't speak for them. I'm sure everything's fine. I'm sure no one at
If they keep merging with these companies, they're using the vested tokens to pay for the merges. No, I'm just saying. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
That's not true. They got Cogito and that giant cash cow that is Cogito. They got money for days. Which, by the way, real quick, Cogito is staffed by a bunch of HSBC douchebag bankers. HSBC, one of the dirtiest banks on the planet. You want to find out how dirty they are? We're going to go behind the wall, but just look up HSBC, ties to drug cartels. Don't even put terrorism because that's a whole other 700 links. Just do the one HSBC, ties to drug cartels. You'll have plenty of reading. These mofos cut at their bank windows. They cut out the silicone, the bulletproof shield so that it could fit suitcases. Who the fuck goes into a bank with a fucking suitcase?
A shield, yeah.
They put weight scales at some of these bank tellers because it was easier to weigh the money and get
I remember this. Yeah.
They are quicker. They are the dirtiest. I don't know if they're the dirtiest. There could be dirtier ones, but they're bad. Anyway, this is who just merged with SFail. Wonderful idea.
Good.
And whatever the fuck save key is. All right, let's get behind the wall.
Right. Let's wall time it. Let's wall it.
We're going behind that wall. Okay, we go to here. Oh, music, tunes.
Going behind the proverbial wall now to continue the broadcast privately for the digital investors and digital private clients. If you'd like to join us, simply go to nickblacknext.com and subscribe to one of our plans and immediately take advantage of our library of tools, tactics, and information. It's all designed to help you learn, grow, and manage your portfolio like a pro. Join us now.